guys, it's Jessie here. I'm back with my weekly budget video. We are working with the very last paycheck in the month of April, so we're moving on to May next week, which is pretty exciting. This month of April somehow managed to both crawl by very slowly and also fly by very quickly. The days themselves were very, very long, but the month was short. Go figure. I don't know how that works, but that's how it seemed to be for me. So I'm going to flip to paycheck number 4 here in my planner. I am working in the Budget by Paycheck Workbook, which comes from the Budget Mom. I purchased the printable version so that I could print the pages that I like and need and use, and not print the ones that I don't like and need and use. Mostly I just use these paycheck bill trackers and the cash envelope breakdown page. That's pretty much what I find super useful. That's why I bought the printable version. I like that I can print the pages I need and not print the pages I don't. That way I'm not wasting things. So we are working with paycheck number 4. Like I said, it's the very last paycheck in the month, and this paycheck was received on April 28th. So I'm going to stick that in here real quick. So this paycheck was received April 28th, 2020. So that means it's going to be used to pay the last few bills in the month of April and the first few bills in the month of May. That's how I do my budget. So the amount of income that we are working with this week is $1,100. I'm going to zoom you guys in so you can see a little bit better what I'm working with here. So it's paycheck number 4. This $1,100 includes my husband's paycheck for the week, which was a little bit lower again this week. My husband works in the plumbing business. He does sewer and drain cleaning, so he is considered essential. He's one of those kind of overlooked essential workers. You hear a lot about, you know, people working on the front line with the healthcare workers, and you hear a lot about trucking, people delivering, you know, all of the goods that we need and use every day. You hear a lot about the grocery store workers. My husband works in the not so glamorous business of sewer and drain cleaning, so you don't hear a lot of praise, but he's been out there working every single day, putting himself at risk during everything that's going on. Luckily, we still have a paycheck, but his pay has been affected by everything. A lot of the scheduled work that he had, like maintenance and stuff, got pushed back. So, you know, we still have a paycheck coming in. We're still making our ends meet. It has been a little bit more difficult in the last couple of weeks, but we're doing fine. We did just receive our stimulus check this morning, so that will be a big help. I'm not going to include that in this week's budget. You will see that as a separate video early next week where I talk about how we are going to budget our stimulus. So be on the lookout for that video. But for now, we're just working with the pay period this week. So we have my husband's paycheck. Also in here is it money that we rolled over from last week. So got $1,100 to work with total. And the bills that we are going to pay this week are as follows. I put a purchase on my Kohl's card. My Kohl's credit card is one of those cards that I use and pay off immediately. I have some credit cards that I do that with. I use them and then I immediately pay them off. I do have some credit cards that carry a balance month to month that I am actively working towards paying off. So Kohl's is one of those that I don't pay unless I've used it. I did just use it last week. I bought myself a new robe. So that was $22. It was on sale. So I went ahead and put it in my budget this week to pay that right off immediately so that we don't pay interest on that purchase. The Kohl's credit card offers like rewards and stuff, and that is why I use it versus just using my debit card. I really enjoy using credit cards for the rewards and the discounts that I can get. I try not to carry a balance on this card. So that's $22. Lot rent is due this week. We are paying $510. If you're unfamiliar, my husband and I own our mobile home. We managed to pay off the mortgage on our mobile home in March, but we do still have to pay the lot rent. We rent the lot that the home sits on. It's the way that that works. And that's $510. Our water bill is also due at the 1st of May, and we have estimated that that's going to cost about $40. Whenever I write in my bills, most of the time I round up on the bills and down on the income. That way I know I'm covered because we have inconsistent income. My husband is paid based on commission, so we don't get the same paycheck every single week. It's not always the easiest thing to do to try to budget for, so that's one of the ways that I help make sure that our bills are covered, by estimating high on the bills and low on the income. I have Patreon due at the beginning of May. This is a $2 charge. I am a patron of a local gentleman who does our local weather. Netflix is going to be coming out at the beginning of the month as well, and that is $16. I budgeted $120 for groceries this week. We did the Walmart pickup. I actually came in under that, which is good. But I don't fill in my actual column for groceries until the end of the week, because you never know if we're going to run out of milk or something and have to go to the grocery store and use more of that grocery budget. For gas this week, I just budgeted $20. We have not been driving hardly at all. When we have been driving, we've been driving my son's little car, so gas right now, gas prices are super cheap, plus we're not using a ton of gas. We just filled up the gas tank in the car yesterday using this budget, and we spent $7. So we're going to come in under budget here, unless we use the truck for something and have to put gas in it. That'll use up the rest of our gas budget, but even then, we're going like a mile or two up the road and that's it. We're not driving a ton right now, and gas prices are super low. So $20 for gas this week. And then household, I have budgeted $30. So this is all of our bills and all of our expenses that we use our debit card for. So anything essentially that needs to stay in the bank to cover these purchases, I keep under my bills category. So the total here is $760. And so we take that $760, you can see here, and we subtract it from our income total, which you'll remember was $1,100. And that leaves us with $340 to work with for our next category, which is our cash envelopes. We're not doing a ton with our weekly spending, which is what I put under our cash envelopes. This is money that we pull out in cash to put into our wallets to be used throughout the week. So this would be any cash that we needed for eating out, any cash that my husband or I needed for spending, but we're not doing a lot of that right now. So the only category that you see here under cash envelopes is my husband's spending. As I said, he is still working, so I like him to have cash if he needs to drive through a drive-through to get lunch or whatever he needs. I don't ask what he spends this money on. It's his to do what he pleases with. And his, I guess you could call it an allowance. We don't call it that, but that's essentially what it is $40 this week. So that's the only thing we have under our envelopes category. So we take that $340 that we had left over for after we paid all of our bills, and we subtract $40 for my husband's spending, and that leaves us a leftover amount of $300, you'll see here, that we carry on to our next category, which is our sinking funds. We're not doing a whole lot with sinking funds again this week. Like I said, my husband's pay has been a little bit less than typical because business has been a little bit slower, so we're combating that by just not saving quite as much, which is fine. We're still totally secure and stable with our finances right now, which is great. Excuse me. So the categories that we are saving for this week are car tags and maintenance and Christmas. So we are going to put $20 in our car tags and maintenance fund. You will see that when I work with the cash at the end of this video. And we're going to put $30 towards Christmas 2020. We definitely want to make sure that our kids are well cared for come Christmas time. That is the time when I think most Americans rack up the most debt, is around holidays and you know, gift giving times, so I definitely do not want to have to swipe a credit card come Christmas. So $30 towards Christmas, and we will also fill in my little fun tracker at the end of this video for Christmas to see how we're doing with our Christmas goal. But our sinking fund total this week is only $50, but it's better than nothing. And so we take that $50 and we subtract it from the $300 that we had left, and that leaves us with $250, which we then take to our next category, which is our extra debt category. We are working with the debt snowball. That is where we just order our debts from lowest to highest, and we work on paying the lowest off first, and then once we have paid that lowest one off, we take that minimum payment that we were paying and we roll it into what we've been paying to that smallest debt, and that means that we have a little bit more money to send to the next lowest credit card on the list. I know that's not the best explanation. I can link some videos down below explaining the debt snowball a little bit better, but that's what we are choosing to do to pay off our debt. Our snowball is currently sitting at $112. We are about to pay off a credit card, so the snowball next week should be a little bit bigger. Sorry about the cat in the background, you guys. He always does this. It's like he wants to be in my videos. Try to ignore him. He's very distracting, I know. Anyways, we take that $112, we subtract it from the $250 we had left over, and that leaves us with $138 to go to our next category, which is our extra savings. So extra savings is just that. It's extra savings that I am putting away for whatever I want. I think moving into May, I'm going to hold off on the extra savings and not make it a goal to save extra money, because with my husband's pay being a little bit lower lately, I would rather focus on our sinking funds than our extra savings. So we're going to finish off April saving extra money, but moving forward, I think in May we're going to hold off on extra savings for the month, and hopefully by June everything will be back to normal. Anyways, I get my total amounts for my extra savings from a couple of different savings challenges that I'm involved in. This one labeled April here is the monthly savings challenge course, the 2020 savings challenge course from the Budget Mom. I will link that down below if you're interested in checking that out. And then Savopoly is a fun printable that I purchased from memotherandI.com. You roll a dice, you go around the board as if it were Monopoly, only when you land on a property, that property is listed as a savings amount. I landed on $14 for the week, so we're going to save $14 for Savopoly. We're going to save $24 for April. That's a total of $38 savings, and that subtracted from our leftover $138 leaves us with $100 to roll over for next week. So that is my budget. I then take all of these numbers that I'm going to pull in cash, and I use my cash envelope breakdown to figure out the denominations that I need. So what do I pull out in cash? The bills amounts stay in the bank to cover all of these things that are coming out using my checking account. I take out the amount for cash envelopes, sinking funds, extra debt, and extra savings all in cash. Now, extra debt before all of the world chaos was something that I would leave in my account and then just immediately pay my credit card that I'm working on. But because things are so uncertain right now, like I said, my husband's income has been affected by COVID-19. We have been putting this snowball amount into an envelope every week, with the idea that when things get back to normal and we no longer have to be concerned about our income, we can just take that money and send it to a credit card. However, if things get really rough and we find that we're not making our ends meet, we can always pull this money back out and use it in addition to our emergency fund. So this right now technically is cash that we are stashing away for a rainy day. And it's raining right now, guys. But once the rain is over and the clouds clear, we'll be able to send whatever is in this snowball envelope to whatever credit card we are working on in our debt snowball. So right now that's being pulled in cash. So I take the amounts that we need to pull out in cash, the envelopes, the sinking funds, the extra debt, the extra savings, and I put it here in our cash envelope breakdown. There you go. It would help if you could see. So I just list everything out, and then I figure out which cash denominations I want based on the breakdown. So my husband's spending, for example, is $40. I want 2 20s for that, so I just mark 2 20s. Car tags and maintenance is a 20. Christmas is 30, so a 20 and a 10. Sorry about that noise. My son is baking in the kitchen. So I just go down all of the categories, figure out how much I need in cash, and then I send my husband to the bank with the totals here, and I just put them on this little bank teller slip that I got from the Budget Mom. This came in a whole stack of sticky notes with this printed on them. I give this to him and he comes back with the cash, which he has done here. So I have my cash that I need, and we're going to go ahead and stuff our cash envelopes. So my husband gets $40. He has actually already taken his money from here, so I don't need to take care of that. I just need to take care of the rest of our categories, which are sinking funds, extra debt, and extra savings. So I'm going to put my planner here off to the side so that I can still access it and see what I need to do. I'm going to adjust the camera, and I'm going to pull out this accordion folder where I am currently keeping all of our cash. So all of our sinking funds in here, our debt snowball is in here, our extra savings is in here. This accordion folder came from Amazon. The reason why I chose to use this to keep my cash is because it has all of these great dividers, so I can keep everything separated by category. I have little labels written here, and the other reason I really like this is because it stands up on its own. It has a flat bottom. You guys can't really see, but just you'll have to trust me on this. It stands up on its own, so it makes it very easy to go in here and separate all the cash out without it constantly falling over. I looked at other accordion folders. They did not have the flat bottom. They were smaller, so they were more like coupon organizers, and so the cash would fit perfectly in each little section, which was nice, but it wouldn't stand up on its own. So I ended up getting this one, and I'm glad I did because I ended up with quite a few different categories, and some of those other organizers I looked at would not have been large enough. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started. So my husband has already taken his $40. So we are going to start out with car tags and maintenance. So what I do is I just go into my little accordion folder here. I have it off camera right now because it's just too much to try to keep it all in frame. But I go behind this tab and I pull out the car tags funds. So in my car tags and maintenance fund, I have $304 saved so far. I just add a little bit to this as often as I can, and it slowly builds up, and then I will have this money when I need it, if I need an oil change or new windshield wiper blades. Whenever it comes time to renew our car tags, we have that money as well. So that all is saved in this category. And we are going to add $20 to this today from our April 28th paycheck. So we'll date it. I keep track of everything on these little index cards, and that just helps me know what I've saved, what I've spent, and helps me keep track of what should be in this fund. So on the 28th, we added $20, and that should mean that we have a total of $324 in this fund. So I'm going to go into my stack of cash from the bank here and add a 20. I'm going to arrange my denominations, and then we will go ahead and count this up and make sure that we have the $324 that we should have. So we have 100, 50, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 85, 90, 95, 300, 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. So we have exactly what I thought we should have, which is good. And now this can go back behind the card tags and maintenance divider here in my accordion folder. The only other sinking fund we are stuffing today is Christmas. So like I said, we've been actively trying to save for Christmas since the end of last year. As soon as Christmas 2019 was over, we started saving for Christmas 2020. Christmas is one of those things that you know is coming every year. So this is a great sinking fund to start with. If your family celebrates Christmas and you're just getting into sinking funds, highly recommend that you do a Christmas sinking fund so that you can have those goals covered. So my goal for my Christmas sinking fund is $1,000. I don't know if you guys can see that there. It's $1,000 and I hope to have that by November 2020 so I can do my shopping. We currently have $410 in there, so almost halfway there. And today, for my paycheck for April 28th, we are going to add $30 more, which should bring me up to $440. This little envelope here came from the Budget Mom. It was a printable that I just printed on my home printer and taped together to hold my Christmas money. So I'm going to go into my stack of cash here and pull out a 20 and a 10. That's $30. And I'm going to add it to what I already have here. Put the denominations in place. And we'll go ahead and count this up and make sure we have 440. So we have 100, 200, 300, 50, 70, 90, 410, 420, 430, 440. So that's good. We have everything that we need there. Before I continue adding my cash for my extra debt and my extra savings to my accordion folder, I'm going to go back to my planner here because I have a... Let me find it here and then I'll talk to you guys about what it is. Here it is. I have this fun little chart that I downloaded and printed from debtfreecharts.com. It was a free printable, and this is how I keep track of my Christmas savings. It's just a fun way to make sure that I am staying on track with my goals. So the last time that I colored this in, I had $340. We are now up to $440, so I'm going to be able to fill in quite a few lines of my little chart here. Each of these lines along the side here represents $20. So I'm going to pull out my mild liners, which is what I use to color this little chart in. These mild liners came from Amazon. They are just double-ended highlighters, only they're not super bright like highlighters. They're more mild, hence the term mild liners. So they have the chisel tip on one end, and then on the other end they have the fine point tip, which is really fun. And I'm just going to color my chart in. So we had 340. This is 4. We're going to be able to color all the way up to this line here, which is exciting. So it's just a fun way to watch your savings grow. They have tons of charts on Debt Free Charts, both for free and some that you pay for, just depending on what you want. I actually want to get a few more to track some other things because it's just a fun visual way to see all of your hard work sort of pay off. So I'm going to color this in using my mild liners, like I said, and we are almost halfway to our goal, and we are not even halfway through the year yet. So that is awesome. I'm very proud of the progress that I have made. Last Christmas was the first Christmas that we ever saved for and had the cash on hand. Typically we wait until Christmas time and then we scramble around trying to figure everything out, and that ultimately in the past has led to swiping our credit card, which is not what we want to do anymore. So it's very exciting to plan ahead and know that this is covered without having to take out any sort of loan. Feel very responsible when I do this. So I'm just going to continue to color this in, finish filling this in, and then we will continue stuffing the rest of our cash. So there we go. Quite a bit of progress made in the last month. So I'm going to go ahead and set this planner back off to the side. We will take our Christmas envelope and put it back behind the Christmas tab, and we will move on. So next up, we have the money for our debt snowball. Behind our little debt snowball tab here, I have all of the money that I have saved so far since we started keeping our debt snowball in cash, $448. So that'll be a great payment to make to a credit card once this is all behind us and we have stable income again. Or it'll be great to use in a situation where we have an emergency and we need it, either way. So we're going to add another $112 to this fund today. So that means that we are going to have $560, if my math is accurate. Now, if you guys watch my channel regularly, you watch my budget videos regularly, you know that I'm not the greatest at math. So hopefully, doing that math in my head, hopefully I got it right. We're going to add 100, a 10, and 2 ones. And we'll count it out, like I said. Make sure my math is accurate, because Lord knows I'm not the greatest at it. So we have 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. $560. My math was right, what do you know? So we'll stick this back in here and move on to our next category. We're now into savings, so we will go ahead and pull out our April savings. For April, this is the last payment we're going to make to April, and we are adding $24 today. So this is our very last payment, and April will be complete, which is wonderful. So we're going to add 20, 21, 22, 23, $24 to April. And if I'm not mistaken, that should mean that we have $174 that we've saved total for the month of April. And this is just extra money, like I said. This can be used for whatever I want. If I want to send it for an extra debt payment, or if I want to spend it on clothes, or whatever I want. I don't have a purpose for this money right now, so it's just going to go back into my accordion folder until I decide what I want to do with it. So let's count this up and make sure we have $174. 50, 100, 50, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74. Excellent. So April savings is done. And like I said, I don't think I'm going to do monthly savings in May. Hopefully we can pick it back up again in June. So our last category for today is Savopoly. This is another one of those fun savings challenges. I did take a $20 bill out of Savopoly last week. I needed it for something. I'm going to actually put that back, that $20 back. I'm going to take that out of my stimulus money, I think. You guys will see that budget early next week, like I said. So we are down to $125 in Savopoly, but we're going to add 14 more today. And that should bring us up to 139, if I'm not mistaken. I apologize if you can see cattail. My cat just climbed up underneath my tripod. So if that dips into the frame, that's just him saying hello. I'm going to stick these denominations in there. And we're going to count this up. So we have 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. So that is 139, and that is Jack's. Alright, so that is that. So that is going to do it for my budget video this week. I'm just going to go ahead and close this up. This is going to go into our safe here at home for safekeeping. And that is my budget for the week. So, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I apologize if I was a little distracted between the cats and all the chaos. It is what it is, I guess. Be on the lookout next week for the budget for my stimulus check. I'm going to film that right now, actually, as soon as I finish this. So that video will be up early next week. Also, be on the lookout next week for my May budget setup. We'll be setting up the month of May in my Happy Planner here with my budget by Paycheck Workbook. I'm also hoping to set up a new planner, my deluxe monthly planner from Erin Condren I'm going to be using for budgeting as well. So hopefully I'll be able to share that with you next week as well, provided that all of the stickers and everything I ordered comes in by then. But that's pretty exciting. So be on the lookout for those videos. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up so that I know. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know how you guys are doing with everything going on in the world right now. If your budget has been affected, I'd love to hear from you. Make sure that you subscribe so that you never miss a video. I do budgeting videos every single week here on my channel. I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks again for watching. Bye!